Good day, my lovelies. How are you? It is your girl, the Stephanie Nicole, and I can't say that we're back because I left before I even came. So let me back up. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then you will know that I made this grand post about how I was relaunching my business on July 7th and that I was going to upload 2 videos to my YouTube channel, updating you all and basically walking you my whole journey through my 40s on what this life looks like now that I have a newborn and I am in my 40s because I just turned 40. And, life happened. I hate feeling like I'm not a woman of my word, but y'all, life really did happen and it hit me literally all at once. So as I was having one of my therapy sessions, I knew something was wrong. I knew something wasn't right. And after taking, multiple assessments, I found out that I had postpartum depression. And with postpartum depression, I end up going through one of the worst episodes of my postpartum. The thoughts got bad and dark at times, and it just became a cumulative effect of everything that was going on in my life. So I was having bad episodes of postpartum depression to the point where I was in the bathroom crying in the tub like a scene off of a movie with the water falling down on me and just saying, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. Lord help me, because I'm not crazy. If you know what that means. Even though I had been with my therapist for on and off about 4 years, being that I have now moved, I have to find a new therapist because she's not licensed in my state that I'm currently in. Then, as I told you I was going to start, I relaunched my business, which I did. I did relaunch my business, so I kept my word in that. I relaunched my business, but I became overwhelmed because I felt like what I had created and accomplished all of these years had just went away and I had to start over again. I felt like I was starting over from scratch, and it was a horrible feeling, and I felt overwhelmed. Then, of course, I'm also in school to get my master's degree. Well, in getting my master's degree, I'm currently failing. I'm taking 2 classes. I'm currently failing one. So that doesn't feel good. I'm failing one class. And so it's just like all while raising baby Hulk over here. I love my little Bam Bam. I do. He is a handful, though. When it comes to raising square moment, when it comes to raising boys and it comes to raising girls, it's two different things. I don't care what nobody's saying. My daughter was nowhere near as hard as it is with my son. Nowhere near. So everything was just compiling on top of each other, and I was spiraling, y'all. It got to the point to where I didn't even recognize who I was anymore. So I decided to go dark. I got off social media for a bit. I didn't know how to deactivate my accounts, so I just had to delete the apps. I signed out of them and I deleted it because I didn't know how to deactivate my accounts. I told a few people, and I gave whoever didn't have my number, or the people that I told, I gave them my phone number so they could contact me. And then I needed to quiet the noise because I felt like everything in my brain was just so noisy. It was a lot of noise. And then as I was texting one of my girlfriends that I told that, hey, I'm getting off social media for a while. Hey, my phone number, my new phone number, because I did change it and I didn't let a lot of people know. And she just started texting me, and we were just texting back and forth. And she was a joy, Trina. And she told me, and I was just talking to her about my postpartum. And I was like, girl, something isn't right. And she was like, she had postpartum depression when she had her son. But her postpartum turned into psychosis. And if you know what psychosis is, if you don't know what it is, look it up. And she had to be admitted for 72 hours. And I was just like, got it. She was like, Stephanie, do what you need to do for you. She was like, because when I was telling people that something wasn't right, nobody was believing me. They was like, oh, people with more kids have struggled more, you're a new mom, you'll be okay. And it was just one of those things where I completely felt heard and understood that what I was going through wasn't normal. And so, because I felt like I was suffocating, like I couldn't breathe. I literally felt like I was losing my mind. And it was a feeling that I just never experienced before. So I knew what I needed to do. And what I needed to do was go to my happy place. And if you know me, and well, you're getting to know me now. My happy place is the beach. That is where I go and I talk to God. I put my feet in the sand and I feel the water and I just talk to God. So I needed to go to my happy place. I only told a couple people that I was leaving, and I headed to Pensacola because it's not that far. And actually, it's where my daughter is currently at. So my daughter is in the Navy. And she is currently in Pensacola. And so I said, hey, do you have duty this weekend? She doesn't. So I was like, Mama's coming. And so I packed up baby Bam Bam, Pop Pop, and we got on the road. And he was such a good baby. He did so well. It's only 3.5 hours from where I live. But that was actually the first time I got both of my kids together. So both of my kids got together and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful to see my oldest, who is out there, and she is killing it, honey, okay? To see my little boy and them together and see them interact, it was everything. Because I was going through a point in my life to where I was just questioning myself, who I was as a person, as who I was as a mother, and everything in between. I had those hard conversations with my daughter. Me parenting my son looks very different when I was parenting my daughter. I was a true single parent, and we'll talk about it. I was a single mother. There was no one else. I didn't get any child support. There was nobody to drop the baby off because she went to daycares, and there was no me going out and things of that nature when I had my daughter. I was a true single parent. If you get child support and you are a squirrel moment, if you're getting child support and you're able to drop your kids off, you're not a single mother. You're a single woman, you're not a single mother. I was a single mother. I had no help. And so I was just in survival mode. I think one of the greatest sayings I heard was from Ayana when she had said, I was a great father. I was a horrible mother.
I was a horrible mother, meaning when my kids were growing up, I didn't know what mothering was. I didn't understand it. So, and because the father wasn't in the home in a positive way, I did the providing, I did the protecting, I did the guiding, and I didn't do the nourishing, the nurturing, the affirming. I didn't do that. I didn't have time. I had 3 kids and a job and a crazy man. So I had to protect them. I had to provide for them. I had to get the rent paid. I had to make sure that they had structure and system. The things that the father would have done had he been there, I had to do. So I didn't have time to wipe boo-boos and bake cookies and tell you how cute you are and how much I love you. Come on, let's get this done. We got to go. That's daddy. Come, baby. Let me tell you what we're going to do today. That's mommy. I didn't get a time to do that.
Because I was too busy trying to protect. I was too busy trying to provide. I was too busy trying to instill and make sure that my daughter was okay, that I wasn't as nurturing as I am with my son. Because I'm not a single parent, I do have a partner, and he is fully showing up in our son's lives. Raising him is just totally different. And so I had to have those hard conversations with my daughter and letting her know and understand why it's different. And, asking for forgiveness, asking for forgiveness for not being maybe the mother that she needed me to be for her, because I was too busy trying to, here we go again with them damn tears. I was too busy being her father because she didn't have one in her life. And instead of being her mother, and I wasn't as nurturing and loving. So I had to ask for forgiveness from my girl and had those hard talks with her, about she had a boyfriend, got to meet the boyfriend, got to meet the friends, and just saying, I'm sorry if I didn't show up the way you needed me to show up, but I'm here. And so then I got to be on the beach and I got to talk to God. I got to talk to God. I got to cry. I got to worship. I got to listen so intensely to what he was telling me the next steps in my life was going to be. And I had to have every intention on doing what he needed and wanted me to do. And so I was grateful. I was thankful for that. I was thankful for the time with my children, having them together. One thing I realized that I may not be mother of the year, but goddamn it, I was a good mama. And if you look at my daughter, she is thriving. And so I'm grateful. And I only try to do it twice with my son. And so I was able to release a lot. Now, I knew that my work wasn't complete, but it was a big step because I felt for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could breathe. I felt like I could see light at the end of the tunnel, because at one point I did think I could see it. It was so far away from me, I couldn't see it. So I had that time with God. I had my epiphanies, and it was time to go back and do the work. And with doing the work, the first thing I did was go and get tested for all of my hormones. So I got the T3 reverse, T3, T4 complete hormone workup panel, and the results came in. And the results showed what I knew what was true. Because when I pulled up my test results, the first thing it said was abnormal. And so when I pulled it and I looked at everything, I felt vindicated, because here was the results telling me there is something wrong. So I found out what was wrong. Stay tuned for part 2.